everyone, my name's Lizzy. I am 40 years old and I am autistic, and I am speaking to all people like me or people who want to understand what it's like to be in our shoes right now. First and foremost, I want to say anyone with any kind of disorder, you are not broken. There's nothing about you that needs to be fixed. There's nothing that this world can dictate to you that can hold you back. Nobody decides what you do in this life but you. My generation didn't even know what autism was, or dyslexia for that matter. I'm both dyslexic and autistic. And my school, I was born in 1984. I got to third grade before anyone noticed I was dyslexic, and I was 39 years old, almost 40, before I found out why I was a little bit different than everybody else. Kids like me didn't have support. And why am I bringing this up? Because I want you to understand, as a world and other autistic people like me, why I want to fight so that you never have to feel this. I have 5 siblings. None of them are autistic that I know of. Maybe they have quirks of their own that they never voiced, but I have always been different than my siblings. I've always been, it's not like they're mean to me or they rejected me anyway, or my friends at school. I had friends, but I was always very different than everybody else. And I just didn't understand why. And it created a lot of unrest and feeling isolated and depressed. There was no therapist to help me. There was no teachers that understood what I was going through. There was no way for my parents to understand what an autistic child needs. And so I spent a lot of time alone in my room, hiding what I call quirks, things that people would look at me different. I would only eat certain foods. I like to sleep in small confined spaces. I wouldn't really talk much. I was extremely shy. I wouldn't look at you when I talked. Eye contact is still a little bit hard for me. It's a little easier when you're behind the camera. But growing up with these things, panic and not knowing how to articulate how I was feeling or what I was going through, I would do weird things, weird movements as a child. It was like a nervous tick. Now that I'm older, I realize what it is, and I kind of move my feet. It's not more pronounced in my body, but as a child, I didn't know what was happening, why I felt like I was coming out of my skin. I would just sit and think all day, just think in my mind, and I would sit and rock, just thinking of how to make people understand. But then I would look at them and they like to try new foods. They're able to go play sports. They're able to just get up and jump out of bed in the morning. I always had to get up a couple hours before I was supposed to leave. I needed time to do things. I had a routine in every aspect of my day, and I needed to stick to that routine. And if that routine broke, I would freak out. I would have panic attacks. I would hide under my bed. I would cry, and nobody knew what was wrong with me. They thought I was just a difficult child. And really, these days, with this younger generation, there are therapists, there are teachers that understand, what tics are and how to help us and these kids diffuse what they're feeling, how to help us. A lot of our trouble is communication. Communication is very, very difficult in how we feel and what we think. Our minds go a million miles per hour sometimes, and it's really hard for people to understand us. I don't want anyone who's autistic to ever grow up like that, or to ever feel alone like that on that level. And I know there's millions of kids that grew up just like me, that are just finding out they're autistic, having to learn about autism gave me so much peace. I thought I was broken before I found out I was autistic. When I started learning about autism, I felt like I came home. Everything clicked into place and I understood, and I'm able to manage my life even though sometimes I have difficulty. Like, I just started a new job this week. It's really hard for autistic people to move out of their routines. I've changed my job several times since COVID. I would have never been able to do that when I was younger. Just the thought of changing schools or rearranging my day would have set me in a panic. And here I am at 40 years old, changing jobs. Once I see something that challenges me and interests me, I go for it. And I was never able to do that as a child. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand what was wrong with me. But then I realized it's not something wrong with me. Because once I figured out how to manage it, I can live effectively. You know, we don't look at people who have anxiety or depression in that way, but they also have to learn to adjust their life around their depression and anxiety. Once they figure that out, they find peace. Autism is no different. If people understood, if these kids got the support that they really needed from a young age, nobody would ever have to feel broken, because we're not. Do you know how long I had to work and still have to work to reprogram my brain in my own mind to say there is nothing wrong with me? That I can do everything everybody else does? That I can have children if I want to have children? I can go to college if I want to go to college? I can create a business if I want? I can do anything I want. There's nothing wrong with me. But because I was different, this world told me and beat me down until I forgot who I was. Who I am is me. Me. Not anyone else on this earth. So why should I listen to anyone else tell me what I should and shouldn't do? They're not me. They don't know what's best for me. They haven't thought it out practically and made a solid plan. Only you can do that. The most successful people on this earth have some sort of disorder. OCD, Asperger's, autism, Tourette's, you name it. Cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, anxiety, depression. There's millions of differences in every chemical makeup and genetic that makes us who we are. We are all structurally different. We are born with different fingerprints. We are born with different thought patterns. We are born with different eye color and skin color. So there is no appropriateness in classifying people for anything. Not gender, not color, not disorder, not sexual orientation. I am sick and tired of control and labels. I'm talking to this generation. This is what I want to break for you. I don't want anyone to have to label what you are. I don't want anyone to have to stand up and say, "Hi, my name's Lizzy and I'm autistic." I just want you to be able to be accepted, because people understand what disorders are. People know how to uplift and encourage, not belittle and control. They fear what they do not understand. If you follow history, what is not understood is always attacked. So the only way we win is to educate. Let's show them just how powerful autistic people are and how much they can accomplish. I need people of all success to come forward and say, "I'm autistic. This is what I did. Don't do this. Don't listen to this. You can do anything." I need you to be loud and I need you to be proud. If you have a child that's autistic, I need you to be loud and proud, and I need you to boycott every list, because one list is just the start. Then before you know it, we're going to have another Holocaust, and we don't need to repeat hatred. We need to create acceptance. I need you. This generation needs you. Fight back.